Hello students, today we are going to study the further topics of this chapter, cell, that is structural and functional units. Now we will be discussing what are prokaryotics and what are eukaryotics. So let me write down the heading. Prokaryotics, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, now there are two types of cells, general cells. Cells can be classified on various types, but there are two types of distinct cells. One are prokaryotics, one are eukaryotes. Okay, what are prokaryotic and what are eukaryotic? बच्चा एक कोई cells होते हैं जिनमें जो cell membrane होती है, cell membranes जो membranes होती हैं वो absent हो या वो well organized नहीं होता, जिनका nucleus क्या नहीं होगा, उनका nucleus well organized नहीं होता, that is absent or absence of nucleus membrane. जिन सेल्स में एब्सेंस होती है न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन की या वो नॉट वेल ऑर्गेनाइज्ड होते हैं, उन सेल्स को हम कहते हैं यूप्रोकैरियोट्स. ओके, प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल्स. एंड जो ऑर्गेनिज्म जिनमें प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल्स होते हैं उन्हें कहते हैं प्रोकैरियोट्स. ओके, एंड व्हाट आर यूकैरियोट्स? जिनमें डिफाइंड सेल मेम्ब्रेन होता है. ओके, एंड द न्यूक्लियस इज वेल डिफाइंड, उन्हें हम कहते हैं यूकैरियोटिक सेल्स. और जो यूकैरियोटिक सेल्स से बनते हैं ऑर्गेनिज्म उन्हें हम कहते हैं यूकैरियोट्स. जनरली प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल्स और प्रोकैरियोट्स होते हैं कुछ बैक्टीरिया और ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गे ही प्रोकैरियोट्स कैटेगरी में आते हैं, बाकी सारे के सारे आपके यूकैरियोट्स कैटेगरी में आते हैं. हम ह्यूमंस भी यूकैरियोट्स हैं. ओके ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट दिस प्रोकैरियोट्स एंड यूकैरियोट्स. नाउ विल बी डिस्कसिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द लिविंग वर्ल्ड. बच्चा आपके जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं वो किस तरह से अरेंज होते हैं हमारी लाइफ में और किस तरह से उनका स्ट्रक्चर फ्रॉम लोएस्ट लेवल टू हाईएस्ट लेवल पहुंचता है, दैट विल बी स्टडिंग हियर. ओके, सो लेट मी राइट डाउन द हेडिंग. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन द लिविंग वर्ल्ड. ओके, now बच्चा क्या होता है, आपके कुछ ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं लाइक अमीबा एंड पैरामीशियम, ये सिंगल सेल्स होते हैं एंड अपना पूरा लाइफ का जो प्रोसेस होते हैं, एवरी लाइफ प्रोसेस ऑफ देयर इज कैरिड आउट बाय दिस सिंगल सेल, लाइक वेदर इट इज डाइजेशन और वेदर इट इज respiration, whether it is like excretion, all this life process are carried out by this single cell. But you know, in multicellular organisms like us, we have different types of cells. So different type of cells perform different type of functions. So how this cell or how this organization at a cellular level or at a multicellular level of the cell occurs, we'll be discussing here. You know, cell, let me write down किस तरह से लिखें, small low to high or high to low. So, low से high. Cell. Now this cell is the smallest or the lowest level of life form. When this cell, that is group of cell together comes, they form tissue. Okay, after this tissue, group of tissues together form organ. Okay, and you know this group of organs together form organ system. And you know bachcha, what is this organ system? This group of organ system, group of organ system together form an organism. So हम ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं, हम ऐसे भी लिख सकते थे. So this is from lowest level to highest level. Okay, so this is from a lowest level to highest level. Cell, smallest unit of life or the basic unit of life, and this basic unit of life, when it form a group, it form tissue. And this tissue, when they collect together and form a group, this group and perform a particular function. हर एक टिश्यू वो फॉर्म होगा, वो एक पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन परफॉर्म कर रहा है, तो हम उसे कहेंगे ऑर्गन. ओके, एंड आफ्टर दिस ऑर्गन different types of organs are made, and this organ together come, then it forms group of organs which perform a particularly one task. Okay, it's form a organ system, and this organ system which perform all the necessary life processes like respiration, digestion, excretion. Okay, all this process, when they are formed together, then they form an organism. Okay, so this is the organization in the living world. Now let's me give you an example. Suppose कुछ cells हैं जो together उन्होंने form किया, like कोई भी connective tissue form कर लिया, कोई type का tissue form किया, उससे मान लीजिए उन्होंने एक organ form किया. Suppose they form heart. So and another tissue cell comes, they form tissue, and from that tissue, a group of tissue, lungs are formed. Okay, then come another tissue, another cells, they form a group, a tissue is formed, and this tissue together come and form windpipe. Okay, so your windpipe organ is constructed, and all this heart, lungs, and windpipe along with your diaphragm, okay, this form your organ system. And what does this organ system or this system perform? It's perform the work of respiration. So this is one organ system. अगर हम दूसरा एग्जाम्पल लें तो हम डाइजेशन का ले सकते हैं. सो ऐसे ग्रुप ऑफ सेल्स आएंगे, टिश्यू बनाया, टिश्यू से उन्होंने सपोज दे कंस्ट्रक्टेड स्टमक, देन इंटेस्टाइन इज कंस्ट्रक्टेड, organ is constructed, then liver is constructed, then pancreas is constructed, esophagus, that is your food pipe, is constructed, your mouth or your buccal cavity is constructed. So all this come and they form an organ system which perform a function of digestion. Okay, similarly excretion, kidneys, livers, they perform the function of excretion. So there comes kidney, there is urethra, then there is okay, all this type of things comes from and form an organ system of excretion. And all this organ system, when they combine together, they form an organism. Okay, so this is organization in the living world. You know, human beings have very much different organ systems, such as your digestive system, nervous system, respiratory system. Okay, so various types of like organ system can be there in different types of organism, not only humans but other animals also. Okay, now we'll be discussing some plant tissues, about some plant tissues. Plant tissues में basically दो type के tissues होते हैं. They are one epidermal and one the other is conducting tissues. Let me discuss what are epidermal tissues. Epidermal tissue. Okay, what is epidermal tissues? which is protective tissues होता है. It is a protective tissue. As you have seen, it is outer lining of it is present or they are found in the outer lining of leaves, stems and root. Where they are found? Leaves, stems, roots की outer lining पे. Okay, and it consists of cells that are spherical, oval or rectangular with the nucleus. Okay, they have a nucleus. आपने जो onion peel देखा था, you have seen this onion peel cell under the microscope. It is of form of epidermal tissue. Okay, and it has a guard cell along with an stomatal opening. That is, they have stomatas which open and close. Okay, and when in the roots this epidermal tissues are there, it has an hairy structures to it, and this hairy structures helps in the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. So this is about the epidermal tissue of plant cells or plant tissues. Now we'll be discussing conducting tissues. अच्छा, जो conducting tissues होते हैं plants में, they consist of two types of parts. That is, one is xylem and another is phylum. What it is? Phylum. Okay. You can see the transverse section of a stem is given in your book, and you can see there is a xylem portion, there is a phylum portion. And then there is pith and cortex. You will be learning in further classes. Now this xylem, what does this xylem do? It transports water from roots to the upper plants. Suppose this is your tree. Let me draw a tree for you first. Okay. Suppose this is your tree. This is the roots of trees. Okay. Okay. So xylem क्या करेगा बच्चा? आपके जो यहाँ का water होगा. So the water from your roots and stem, it carries to the leaves. So the upward movement of water from the roots to the other, or minerals also, to the other parts of the plant is done by xylem. And what is phylum does? बच्चे यहाँ जो ये leaves होते हैं, ये आपके खाना बनाते हैं. That is, they make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. This food that is made by the plant is transferred to the other part of the tree with the help of phylum. Okay, so this xylem has a very large, thick-walled cells. They are very large, thick-walled cell, and phylums are very thin-walled cells. Okay, so this is about the xylem and phylum, and this xylem and phylum together form the vascular bundle of the plant. Okay, xylem and phylum together forms vascular bundle, okay, of plant. Okay, so this is about the two types of tissues of plant, that is epidermal tissue and conducting tissues. Okay, now we will be writing about some, or we will be discussing about some some animal tissues. Animal tissues बहुत तरह के होंगे बच्चा, like they are muscular, they are nervous, they are conductive, they are connective also, and some are epithelial. So we will be discussing about epithelial and connective tissue. Basically in connective tissues we will be discussing blood only. Okay, now what is epithelial tissue? Epithelial tissue. Okay, now what is this epithelial tissue? It forms the outer and inner covering of a body of animals. Okay, and including various organs also consist of this epithelial tissues. It consists of tightly packed cells with prominent nucleus. Okay, so these cells are of very different types of shapes. They can be flat, they can be columnar, they can be cuboidal. That is, बिल्कुल flat हो सकते हैं, like our skin cells. They can be in the structure of columns. Okay, they may be in the form of columns, or they may be in the shape of cuboidal. Okay, you know, the cells which are inside our cheeks that we have seen under the microscope are epithelial tissues. Okay, the cells lining the cheeks are epithelial tissues. Now we will be discussing connective tissue. Okay, but they are very, what is connective tissues? A tissue which helps to connect or bind together different tissues or organs of the body. Now, this connective tissues are various type of things, like there are bones. Bones are a connective tissues. Cartilages are there. Blood is also connective tissues. Now we will be discussing about blood as a connective tissues. You know, bacha, blood is a fluid connective tissue. What is blood? Blood is a fluid connective tissue. Okay. So this blood is a fluid connective tissue, and this blood consists of a plasma, that is a liquid part in which 3 types of cells are there. Okay, and these 3 types of cells we will be discussing. Let's draw it. Okay, so plasma is there. Okay, in this plasma there is one cell, and these cells are round and they are red in color, and these are called red blood cell. And which, you know, this red blood cells, what do these red blood cells do? They provide or they transfer oxygen to all the part of our body. Okay, so they transport oxygen in our body. There comes a white blood cells. Now this white blood cells can be any shape. Generally, आपके red blood cells has a shape round. White blood cells can change their shape. So these are white blood cell, that is WBC. These are RBCs. Okay, and now what do these WBCs do or white blood cells do? They fight or protect our body or fight with the disease causing microbes. So they protect our body or they fight with the disease causing microbes. Then there comes platelets. Okay, these platelets, okay. Now these platelets, they help in the blood clotting. Agar aap, maybe if you are injured and you are having a blood flow, then the blood stops automatically after some time. Why does this blood stop? Because of this platelets. They helps in the clotting of your blood, so that the blood do not get lost from our body. Okay. You know, students, different type of organism or different humans have different clotting time. Some may have a clotting time of 1 minute, some may have a clotting time of 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So this clotting time also varies from human to human. Okay, this is about some plant or some animal tissues. We have discussed about 2 types of animal tissues, that is epithelial tissue and this connective tissue, particularly blood. Now we will be discussing cell division and its importance. Okay, let me write down the heading. Cell division and its importance. Cell division and its importance. Okay, now मुझे जो cell division होता है या cell होती है, like growth is a necessary part in every living being, because how do this growth is done? Growth is done by the process of cell division. Okay, this cell division is the process of new cell. When this old cell, okay, this old cells form new cells, this process is called cell division. Okay, so this is the process that we are going to discuss and how this process of cell division goes on. You know, this human cells or many animal cells, they form develop a fertilized egg. What they form? They form a fertilized egg. And this fertilized egg is also called zygote. Okay, what this is called? It is also called zygote. Now this zygote is a single cell. Okay, when this cell grows to a maximum size, this cell, when it grows to its maximum size, it will separate into two cells. After this, when these two cells are formed, further they grow and form a particular or grow to its maximum size, and they convert into 4 cells. Okay, and again and again this cycle goes on, and numerous of cells are formed, and this process of cell division, this process is called cell division. Okay, so from a zygote, what is a zygote? The first cell or the first fertilized cell. So this is a cell, this has full cell membrane and this has a nucleus. This will divide into another cell with a nucleus. Then they further will be dividing into 4 cells, and the further this process will go on, and this process is called cell division. Okay, so this is cell division. Now, plants and animals grow as they increase in numbers by dividing. This growing regions are the ends of your bones. आपकी bones body की, they will be growing. Your hair anticles, they will be growing. The layer of your cells on the skin, they will be growing. The root tips of plants and buds of plants, they will be growing. Or there is the process of cell division is going on. Not only cell division is going for the growth purpose, it is also done for various type of functions also. Like suppose you have a dead cells of the skin, or the worn out cells, or your red blood cells that are worn out. These are also produced by the process of cell division. And also this wounds, suppose बच्चा आपके कोई चोट लगी हो, you have remember some chot. So see, after some time there will be new skin there and a fresh skin will be there. So how does this skin come, or how does this wounds heal? This heals due to the process of cell division. Now there is an image given in your book regarding the cell division. There are different type of phases given. That is, there are intraphase, early prophase, later prophase, then there is a metaphase. After that there is anaphase, telophase, intraphase, and this whole process is called cell division. And this is the process of mitosis and meiosis we will be discussing in your further classes. Okay. Now this is all for this chapter regarding this cell division and its importance. Now we will be doing the exercise related to this chapter.